General Washington never said very much. He was tall with a quiet voice. He looked like the kind of man who could win a war. What kind of a person is she that she would think that somebody who is quiet and tall could win a war? My name is Meg Smith, and I am a 5th grade teacher at the University of Hartford Magnet School. I've taught here for the past 5 years. This year my class has 17 students in it. I have 8 girls and 9 boys. They're from a variety of areas, suburban and urban. I have students from Hartford. I have a good number this year from New Britain. And I have a variety of students with different needs and different interests. The unit that we're working on in Reading Workshop is Unit 4. It is nonfiction research projects, and that kind of picks up off of Unit 3, which is nonfiction, and we're just having the kids dive into it and really pick an area of interest and examine different sources, put it together to really research and think deeply about their topic, and then they're going to produce an essay during their writing time because they're working on argumentative essays.
She probably knows because she's quiet, and so she can keep secrets, so she can probably tell that who can keep secrets or not by their facial expression.
Close reading is really having students look deeply into the text beyond the words and really having them ask themselves, what is the author trying to have me understand, and what does that mean, and why it's important. And it really just has the students internalize the text and understand it on a deeper level. The Common Core standards are extremely rigorous, and they really ask the kids to go to a much higher level. I've been teaching 5th grade for 11 years, and I'm asking more of my students than I ever have, because the Common Core really wants students to analyze text and also be able to talk about text and internalize it, pull from multiple sources, really analyze primary sources, secondary sources, and consider the importance of those sources as well as the importance of the words and what they mean to the student. And why is that, based on what you know about the African American experience in that time?
Because they thought that the black men weren't as good as the white men, and that they didn't deserve as much as they did.
To prepare the students for close reading, I really have them think about the text, and I give them questions ahead of time, and I have to kind of lay it out for them before they can really internalize those questions, because the idea is to have them do it automatically, but before you can do that, you have to model it. You have to give them the questions to ask. I also want to give it to them in a variety of ways: written, verbal, having them take their own notes and looking at the notes and seeing which way they, what types of questions they really look at, and maybe seeing what questions they aren't asking to see what they're missing, and also listening to their conversations.
And now, licking.
So what does that say about the mothers if the baby is not getting attention?
They're too busy answering their work.
I also like to use pictures a lot because it kind of levels the playing field, because students who are not reading at the same level as others, they can have a basis for comparison, and it lends itself very nicely to beginning the act of close reading. What I want you to do is I want you to spread these words out. We're going to take a look at some important words that I pulled from the story about Benedict Arnold here. Okay, so some of these words I think you're going to know, and some of these are going to be unknown words to us. Okay, so that's kind of that second question about really looking at the words and seeing how the words are important. So we've got foolhardy, impertinence, unrepentant, glory, pride, ambition, and blasphemous. Now, which ones do we know? One of the things that went well today in a close reading small group was when I pulled vocabulary words for the students and to get them to kind of discuss and go into the text and really think about how the words identified with the character that they're reading about, Benedict Arnold. They were really able to find a specific piece of text evidence and link that to a word. And my hope is that's really going to get them to identifying theme. Because if they're noticing these words and noticing a pattern of the words, they're going to notice a pattern in the character, and then they're going to be able to apply that to theme and really understand what drove Benedict Arnold to do what he did.
What's different about these two is that this one makes the war and the army sound good because you're going to get paid and that you have food and everything. And they say that you can have land, but in this one it seems like this boy doesn't really want to go at all.
In this small group right now, I really want them next to become a little bit more independent. I want to pull back as a facilitator, and I want them to start to facilitate a little bit more. Once they see me modeling and they kind of get the hang of it, I want to kind of pass the mic and allow them to take control of the group and to talk about what they've noticed and then ask questions of each other. When I am looking at my students and we're in a small group, I try to really get excited about what they're saying, and my eyes light up because they get excited by me being excited, quite frankly, and I want them to know that what they're doing is important, and I want them to feel like they're historians and they're pulling out facts for the first time, and that this is something that will light them up because it lights me up. And they also think that they're on the right track, so that's going to continue them versus having them pull back, which is not what I want them to do.